Hi guys, it's April and I garden down in southeast Nebraska, as you can tell by the wind that is just whipping you around like crazy right now. We have passed our last frost date and I am working on getting all of these seedlings that are massively overgrown planted out. But we have another cold snap tonight that I'm gonna have to bring all of these back in for. So nothing is gonna get planted out probably until next week. So probably starting Monday, I'm just gonna start planting everything out. I haven't hardened off my tomatoes or peppers yet. They're still upstairs. I was waiting until we were consistently 50, 60 degrees to start hardening those ones off. So that'll probably start next week so that next weekend I can really start planting those out. But behind me I have all of the other seedlings. They're mostly flowers and herbs at this point. I need to fertilize all these. It is Fertilizer Friday. So I'm gonna do that. I will show you where all of the seedlings are at right now, even the tomatoes and peppers. I might have either over fertilized or started all of the things just way too early this year because everything is huge and I'm starting to struggle with a lot of them. And then I can show you where the spring garden is at, I think. I think it's a nice enough day that I can do that. So let's fertilize some stuff. To fertilize my indoor plants, I just have this grow solution from Espoma. I'll just put a cap of this in this very old watering can and then fill that up and then water everything. It's really that simple. I only do this on Fridays because like I said, I think either everything is getting way overfed or I don't know. Things are going crazy this year. And yes, shake this before you use it. Now that I have fertilized everything, I can step you through all of these seedlings. This first tray is a combination of sunflowers, coleus, and these are, they call them mosquito shockers. They're a type of geranium that I have picked up from the local garden center. I like to put it around our fire pit to help deter mosquitoes from that area. And as you can see in the next two trays, these straw flowers aren't looking the best right now. I've had to kind of cap them off to see if I can get things to, I don't know, not be as crazy, but they're also not liking being in these pots and they need out. So Monday, these guys are going out, no questions asked. They have to at this point. They're not looking good and I think I'm gonna lose them if I don't. But mixed in with those, there are some of the paper daisies, and buried in the middle over here is some Livingston daisies, which aren't looking the best either. But the echinacea is looking pretty good. I am probably gonna plant those out on Monday. I think they're ready for it. The herbs, I mean, I've been topping off the basil so that A, it doesn't bolt, and B, it still fits underneath the lights. But as you can see with some of the yellowing and stuff going on, they need out as well. Like I said, I think things got started a little early. They had too good of a life and now they're suffering. I've got some zinnias in the back right there. And then these are the eggplants, which are looking okay. And then on this side over here, we have the bunny tails and calendula. Behind that are the nasturtiums and more calendula, followed by all of the poppies. and why is the name suddenly gone from my brain? Dusty Miller. I'm not sure why that name left me. But as you can see, they're all doing really good. And surprisingly, it's the poppies that I planted in mass that are doing better than the poppies that I pricked out and did individually. I don't know what that means, but it has been a very interesting experiment seeing how the poppies are doing and which method they did a little better. I don't know if this is a true test or not, but I might have to try it again next year just to test it out. But I'm gonna take you out into the yard before we go back inside and see the peppers and the tomato plants. So this is where a good chunk of this spring garden is at. As you can see, we've got cabbage. The lettuce is on and off bolting because our temperatures keep swinging from 33 all the way up to 80, and it doesn't know what it's doing and it's not happy. But in front of it, we have all of the peas and then the onions I planted. Now, the candy onions are starting to stand up straight. The red Cabernet, not so much. I don't know what's going on with it this year. It's just not happy. I'm hoping it'll still bounce back, but even the ones I planted in clumps over here are kind of like, I don't know if I like this. But the candy clumps are looking good, along with all of the spinach plants. So those are looking really good as well. These right here are pine berries. They've been here a couple years now. They started out right next to this bed right here, but as you can see, they've been migrating slowly. Up in here, we've got a combination of an extra spinach plant I had, the garlic that did come up, and my leeks. The leeks, which are actually technically garlics, are looking really good. So I don't know why only a small amount of my garlic came up. I don't know if it has something to do with where this bed is at or the kind of winter we had. I've been struggling with garlic for the last couple of years in getting it to be a good harvest. I'm gonna have to supplement again this year, but that's kind of the game you play when you garden. You don't know if it's actually gonna work out or not. But I do like how the garlics and the garlic look together, and I think that bed's gonna fill out and it's gonna look absolutely gorgeous. And if I can sneak back here, we have these cabbages that I think are looking absolutely amazing, especially these front ones. The back ones I think are just getting shaded out, so I might have to harvest those ones early and use them as young cabbage. But overall, these guys look fabulous. And I do need to put that flower out into the garden and not leave it right here. Then out here in the actual beds, we have my bok choy, which as you can see is looking really rough. We got a pretty substantial amount of hail last week and it just shredded most of these. The back half of the bed actually looks better. Those varieties did better, but this front part, not so much. We've still been eating it, but we've been chopping it up so you can't see how mangled it looks. And then there's that cabbage in that back row that looks just as bad. I've never had that kind of cabbage before, so I wasn't attached to it in any way, but I think maybe it'll balance back, but we'll see. And I do have some of the bunching onions over there. This is the first of the root vegetable bed. You can see we have a lot of radishes, and then in the back there we've got the beets coming up. I haven't seen a lot of carrots. You can start to see a little bit. I've got here and there the carrots are starting to come up. I probably need to water this bed before I go inside so that we can keep getting those carrots to come up. But like I said, a lot of these other sections haven't started yet. And these two got wrecked by the hail, which is why the beets look kind of eh. But I'm having faith that they're gonna bounce back. There's absolutely nothing coming up in the potato bed yet, but we're keeping our eye on that. And then this is the other root vegetable bed. We've only got the beets in the middle, and the rest of the stuff coming up right now are radishes, which is why this looks a lot greener. I haven't really noticed any carrots coming up in this bed. I see I have some weeds that I need to come through and pick out. But yeah, it's not too terribly exciting over here. I've got calendula starting to show up in my pathways that I might have to dig up and plant elsewhere. But yeah, I've just got bunching onions in the most random spots. And up here is some cilantro, which I do have more cilantro than that. I can show you that. And it looks like the birds have been having fun on my beds. I need to clean that. Over here, this green stuff coming up, that's all dill that has self-seeded. And that big clump is this year's dill that I planted out. But if we pan over here, you can see this clump over here is the other cilantro that I planted out from row 7. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it looks a little bit like a cross between parsley and dill and cilantro. That's kind of what it reminds me of. Otherwise, there isn't a ton going on in the garden right now. I've got some volunteer beans coming up, but who knows if the frost is going to take them out. And as you can see, the hail definitely did some damage. I can come back here and show you, we've got this kiwi, and I spotted some green down in there for these two kiwis starting to come up. But this hardy kiwi right here is doing so well right now. It is amazing. I have one grape I need to replace. This grape has come back and I was noticing clusters on it, which is exciting. But it did get hit by hail, so you can see where some of it broke. And then we have this big guy who just flourished last year and is starting to open its leaves back up. And once again, got another dead one. The two dead ones are the same type and they never even did anything last year. So need to do replacements for those. But otherwise, yeah, the grapes are looking really good. So we might get grapes this year. I do have to show off these honeyberry bushes. There are 4 in here and each year they keep getting bigger and bigger. I'm hoping I beat the birds to the berries this year. And then last, I just wanted to show off the strawberries and the chives and this tiny little peach tree. I've got another peach tree behind me, but this is what I wanted to show you for now. And then of course, the peppers and tomatoes are the last thing I wanted to show you before I wrap up this video. I think in the next couple weeks, you are going to be getting a lot of planting videos as all of these go outside. Don't think I'm gonna have any more videos in the house, but I have enjoyed how this setup has worked this year, but I think it's made me a little too comfortable about letting things get a little too big. They're so big. But if you want to follow me on the whole journey of planting all of this out, feel free to subscribe down below. Hit the bell, do all the things to get all of the notifications. And I also have an Instagram and Threads account where I like to do photo updates of everything that's going on, so you can check all of that out as well. But I'm gonna show you guys the jungle that is these cages. So it has gotten so dense in here, you can't even tell there are as many lights in here as there are. I mean, some of these peppers are 1.5 feet tall. So are the tomatoes. They're starting to struggle in the pots that they're in. As you can see, I even up-potted some of the tomatoes to try and help with the problem. But they need outside. They need outside real bad. And I think if I use the same technique as I have this year for all of these, I need to do everything a week or two later, because this is silly. But it still makes me so happy. But I suppose I should just end it here, and I hope I see you guys in another video, and I heart your beautiful faces. Let me know how your garden's going. Bye.